Dear brother, the biggest battles of our life are never external. They're always internal. You know where they start? Right here in the cage of our mind. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into this thing. It's a few things I want to talk about: fear, doubt, past trauma, social expectations. They all create mental prisons for us as men. And you know what they do ultimately? They limit our potential. They limit our drive. They limit our ability to feel like we can go and grow. And that's what they do to us, man. But I'm going to show you today how to break out of that cage, man, because your win starts here. Your losses starts here, right? So we're going to teach about this power of the mind, man. We're going to talk about it a little bit. See, breaking free, man, isn't about external changes. It's not about going to get a new job. It's not about changing universities. It's not about changing the woman that you with. That's one of our things, man. We start suffering something. It's like, okay, I got to change this. I got to change that. I got to change this. It's not that those external changes are important, but I don't ever want us to ignore the internal changes, especially the mental ones, because this is the point. Wherever you go is where you are, right? A lot of times you're the common denominator. You can change a city, but you're the common denominator. You can change a relationship, but you're the common denominator. And after a while, you got to realize that if I don't clear my mind, it doesn't matter where I go. My stuff will still be with me. I want to talk about 12 things, man, to get us out of the cage. Yeah, I say us because I didn't start the Dear Brother podcast because I'm just some guru. I'm not your guru at all. I'm your brother. And I've been through hell and back. You know what I mean? And I'm still trying to figure it all out. So I want to do that with y'all. I think the first thing you got to do is you got to identify the cage you built. The cage you built. See, it's easy to blame other people for the cages that our minds are in. And I have no doubt that people have done stuff to you. People have done stuff to me, some terrible stuff. People have done terrible stuff to you, but they didn't put you in that cage, right? Whatever they did to you invited you there, but ultimately it was your decision to cage your mind in the last place you were hurt or in the last place you dealt with that trauma or that drama, right? Whatever it was. So you got to identify the cage you built. And the thing is, you got to ask yourself questions, right? Like really dig in and deep ask yourself these questions, right? What kind of questions? I got one for you. What's limiting me? What am I allowing to limit me? What beliefs do I have about myself that's keeping me stuck, right? How have the things that have happened in my past experiences, failures, fears, how has it shaped me? How have I allowed it to shape my mental focus, or how have I allowed it to take my mental focus away, period, or create barriers in my mental focus where I feel like this is as far as I can go. I can't go but so far, right? So you got to be able to identify where you've caged yourself. And you know, to do that, you got to get away from people. You got to take time, and you can't always just have the TV on or run to your favorite sport or run to whatever, right? I love boxing. I can watch a boxing match and forget about everything else. We all have those things we can go to just clear our mind. But you know what really clears your mind? You. And you know, there's a lot of enjoyment you're missing by not clearing that mind. So sometimes you need the solace and the silence, man, to be able to really confront the things in you that are stopping you. What's stopping you? What's holding you up? Number two, stop believing everything you think. Oh man, Christian, you bugging now. What you mean don't believe everything I think? You can't believe everything you think, right? You can't. Thoughts are not always facts, man. What you think is not always right, right? Oftentimes what we do is we condition ourselves or our new thinking based on past wounds. We condition ourselves to believe or move in new areas with old thinking, right? And we allow those failures and those outside influences now to govern or guide how I move next, right? So you got to learn to challenge that negative self-talk. You got to learn to challenge it. Yeah. When you have a one voice talking to you, man, you got to be able to say, hold up, is that right? Let me check that. See, we're quick to check other people. They come with some negative stuff. Oh, wait a minute, right? We'll check another person. The question is, are you checking you? Are you as vehement against your own negative self-talk as you are letting somebody talk to you that way? Because to let the truth be the truth, bro, there's a lot of stuff that you say to you that you would not allow somebody else to say to you. If they said it to you, say, "Oh, that's going to tear me down. That's negative talk." But you allow yourself to do it to yourself. We all do it. So check yourself, right? Check yourself instead of accepting that as truth. Find the real truth. Challenge yourself. Is what I'm thinking, is that true at all? Again, all your thoughts aren't true. They're all of them ain't facts. And you got to be willing and gutsy enough to check yourself. Number 3, reframe your past. Reframe it, bro. Reframe it. Am I saying ignore that things happen? No, that's not reframing. Reframing is, this thing happened to me. It damaged me in this way. How can I reframe that? What did I learn from that? What did I learn about that group of people? What did I learn about myself in that situation? See, many of us remain trapped, man, in old mistakes, old relationships, childhood trauma, a bunch of regrets. We allow ourselves to get stuck there. And because we're not reframing our past, then we're not allowing ourselves to dig out. Again, we're guiding our future, right? Trying to look out the back window. You know what you're going to do if you drive your car, bro? It's simple. It's simple wisdom. If you drive your car looking out the back window, what's going to happen? I don't got to say it. You know what's going to happen. You're going to crash because the back window is what you just left. The front window is where I'm going, right? You're always going to go in the direction you're looking. You're always going to live in the direction you're looking. If you're looking that way, you're going to drift that way. If you're looking in your past, you're bound to repeat it, bro. Right? So let's reframe your past. Instead of letting the past define you, you got to use it as fuel to do what? Rewrite your future. Because guess what? You got the pen. Other people don't have the pen. They got the suggestion. They got the trouble to bring. They got an opinion, but you have the pen. Let me say it again. They have the opinion, but you have the pen to rewrite your future. Another thing that's important in this area, man, is to forgive yourself. You got to forgive yourself and you got to forgive others. Oh, Christian, I'll never forgive them, man. You know what they did to me? Yep, you know what they did. They know what they did, and you're the only one living bound by it. There's some people that's never going to apologize. There's some apologies that are never coming. There's some people that will never sit down and even think about what they did to you. If you waiting on that to be free, bro, you may never be free, right? So forgiveness is a tool to do what? Free myself. Give myself mental liberation, because that's where it is. It's not just cutting the person off, right? And when you really grow, it's not about cutting people off. It's wondering and seeing what in me let them in. That's real growth. The Dear Brother podcast, where grown men keep growing. You see what I'm saying? Number 4, master your emotional triggers. Master them. How do I master them? I get to know what my triggers are, right? I went to counseling one time and somebody told me, that the counselor told me, your trigger is your trigger. It's not everybody else's fault. Your trigger is your trigger, right? And so it's easy to say, look what they did, or look what they, no, that thing in you, they just talking. Your trigger is your trigger. If you find yourself snapping all the time, that's because that trigger is in you. And their word or their deed might have triggered you, but they didn't give you the trigger or build it in you. That trigger was there the whole time. And you have to dismantle the bombs that are in you, not another person. You got to do that for your own freedom, for your own joy, so you can live out the life you want to live. See, societal conditions, man, sometimes it teaches us to suppress our emotions, right? I was just debating a little bit today with somebody, got one of these, put a post up about how men just act like you don't have no problems because nobody care. Listen, bro, I understand the sentiment, but at the same time, the truth is you keep on suppressing, you're going to implode. And you know what happens? Ultimately, it doesn't just break down your mental space, your emotional, social, spiritual place. Eventually, you hold on to something long enough, it will crack your very physical body. A lot of these sicknesses and diseases, man, it's not just from the outside. A lot of this stuff is from stuff we harbor. We're not free here. This is a whole nother world in here that you got to be able to investigate and understand. So I'm not harboring things, so now it's affecting my body. And it happens, man. So you got to learn to process those emotions. You got to learn to express them, right? To constructively, man, what happens is when you express them constructively, right, it prevents the stuff from controlling you, right? It prevents people from controlling you. It prevents circumstances from controlling you. So what is it all about? It's about developing a self-awareness. Who am I? What I got going on? What's the broken parts? What's the parts that need to be helped? What's the triggers in me? It helps you to recognize your emotions so you're not living always deregulated, everything throwing you off, every wind that comes just blowing you away. That's not manhood, bro. That's not manhood. Manhood is facing stuff but not being blown apart by it. Because after a while, you got to find some stability, right? Stability. It's like a palm tree. When that wind blow, it might blow you left, blow you right, but the roots of a palm are so deep. That's why it's able to take the blow, right? Is able to take the blow. So pay more attention to digging down. It's not about the person that everybody else sees, right? It's about the you that you know you are because you spent time digging down so that every wind is not taking you out of control. Number 5, eliminate the need for external validation. Eliminate it, bro. Eliminate the need for it. Now, is validation good? Yeah, validation is good. But the lust for validation means that I don't really believe in me and I need somebody else to always tell me. No, your voice has to be the loudest encourager. Just like your voice can be the loudest destructor, your voice can be the loudest encourager. See, when you always seek validation, man, that means your mind is in captivity, the cage, right? You're looking for somebody else to bring the key. No, not at all, man. You got to pat yourself on your own back at times when nobody else is there to do it or willing to do it. You got to do it. Right? It's just like a business. You got to be your first investor. You got to be your first investor in good humanity. If you're going to be the man of your own dreams, you got to be your first investor. Because true freedom comes from redefining yourself, bro. True freedom, not bound in where you are. True freedom comes from defining success too. Right? What's it mean to you? Not what other people say, but what's it mean to you? And I think one of the wealthiest places you can be as a man is having self-worth on your terms. Not what other people say, this is where you should be by now, bro. You should, right? Sometimes that could be good advice, but at the same time, it's on my terms. Do I want to do that today? Right? There are days where I say, yo, I need the podcast. I need to do that. Why? To keep up with the YouTube algorithm, to keep up. There's sometimes I'm tired and I say, you know what? I'm going to take this break. Why? Because I got to do it on my terms so I can bring good content, not just some content. If I was just out there to do it, then I'll be bringing you trash. I don't ever want to bring you trash. So I got to love me enough. When I love me enough, I give myself enough so I can give you good stuff. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying this video today. Stop letting the fear of judgment dictate your actions, bro. Stop letting the fear of judgment dictate your actions. Man, everybody going to have something to say. Right? Everybody gonna have something to say, but take the good out of what they're saying. Some people got good stuff to say. You hold on to it. Stuff that's gonna make you better. That's the stuff you hold on to. Right? So you hold on to what's good. Sometimes you got to release the stuff that's tearing you down even further. Right? Number 6, face the fear that's controlling you. You know what it is. I know the fears that control me. You know the fears that control you. Don't act like a tough guy right now. We all know the fears that control us. Right? Why? Because fear is the foundation for mental cages. Fear, I'm telling you, that's when you lock up. Right? I would say lock in, but that's focus. No, that's when you lock up. Fear is the foundation for mental prisons and fear of failure, rejection, fear of the unknown. Fear is the foundation that locks this mind right up. Right? So it's about what it's about, man, is being courageous enough and brave enough, right, to confront those fears. Why? Because being courageous isn't about the absence of fear or the absence of trouble, right? Being brave is not that, you only prove bravery by doing what you got to do in the presence of fear, right? Courage is about what you do in spite of what's going on. It's not about putting on your shoes to run. It's about putting on your boots to stand firm and see what I'm going to do about the situation to make it better for my family, for myself, for my children, for my future, right? So you know what's good? Sometimes list the biggest fears in your life and actively challenge each and every one of them. Oh, man. I hope this is helping you today, man. It's sure helping me, right? Right? List your biggest fears, bro, and actively challenge every single one of them. It's big. Number 7, you got to replace overthinking with action. Just because you're thinking about it doesn't mean you're getting it done. Sometimes in your mind, you can wear yourself out thinking, and overthinking, right? To the point where you think you did something. All you did was think, right? Is thinking good? Yeah. Overthinking without action is terrible, though, right? A lot of us get stuck in the cycles of analysis that leads to paralysis. Keep on analyzing. Next thing you know, now you're stuck analyzing, never moving. 10 years done gone by, you still thinking about it, thinking about the man you want to be, thinking about the husband you want to be, thinking about the better father you want to be, thinking about the business you want to build, thinking about the podcast you want to release, thinking about the apology you need to give. You're thinking, replaying what ifs. Those what ifs, man, are keeping you stuck every time. Those what ifs are stopping you from taking the action necessary to walk into the future that you deserve, bro. You deserve it, right? Because no amount of thinking is going to substitute for doing, man. Never. No amount of thinking you do. No amount of thinking, no amount of writing, no amount of journaling, no amount of conversation is going to substitute for you doing what you got to do to get where you got to go. Why? Because progress only happens in movement. That's where progress begins. When you move, when you go, that's where it goes. That's what progress is, man. It's about taking deliberate action to move forward. And again, I want to say it. Somebody needs to hear this. Excuse me. You deserve that. You deserve that. And some of us are so broken, we don't feel like we deserve anything, right? But that's about self-worth. And we're going to work on that too. Go through some of the videos, man. I talk about this stuff. That's why I tell you to subscribe, man. Not just so I can say, oh, my channel has this. No, I'm trying to help men go and grow globally, bro. You deserve that. Number 8, cut ties with toxic influences. Cut it. Cut ties with toxic influences, man. There are some mental prisons that you're in that's reinforced by certain people. There are some people that they believe in your bondage because it benefits them, right? They never going to tell you that, but they know if you ever grow, you're going to move on and they can't get what they used to get from you. There's some relationships you in, they know if I keep him stuck right there, he never going to be what he got to be and I'm going to get everything I need. You got to look up and see the toxic influences in your life. Whether even if it's your friends, family members, man. There are some people that benefit, even if it's just they funny. They funny, and right, you're gonna joke yourself right in that mental cage, right? So just because you're making everybody else laugh, some people keep you around for certain reasons that don't benefit you, only benefits them, right? So you got to be in environments that feed what you're trying to become, not what everybody else needs from you. You got to be in environments that don't feed your stagnation, right? That don't feed negativity. You got to be around people that don't find everything funny, especially your bondage. You got to find people that won't laugh with you all the time about everything. You got to find the people that say, yo, bro, stand up. Stand up, man. Stand up. You need that. Somebody's going to challenge the best parts of you. Somebody's going to get in your face and say, yo, bro, it's time to change. It's time to face that. It's time to apologize for that. It's time to get back with your lady. It's time to go back to your babies. That's what you need, man. A swift kick sometime. And don't say that's not a friend. That's your best friend. The person that's going to swift kick you where you need to be, that's your best friend. The person that's swift kicking you all around and to get you in more confusion and more dirt, more addictions, that ain't your friend. That ain't your friend, bro. You got to guard your mental spaces, man, fiercely. Like you guard your pockets. You ain't going to let nobody run through your pockets. We let people run through our mind. No, man. Guard that. Guard that mental space. Guard your physical space. Everybody don't deserve to be around you. Everybody shouldn't be around you while you're growing. I started gardening right after my kidney transplant. I needed something to do, and I fell in love with it. I couldn't let anybody just walk through my garden. In fact, I watched how I even walk through my garden because I would kill what I'm trying to grow. Same thing with your mental space. Guard it, man. Guard it with everything you got, fiercely. Number 9, develop new mental script. What am I feeding myself? I got to develop a new mental script, bro. I can't keep on rehearsing the old way, the old things I used to say and think, the old way I used to talk. Listen, if your mind is in a cage, then your thoughts are the bars. If your mind is a cage, your thoughts are the bars. Your thoughts are the bars that keep you right there. So watch your thought patterns, man. That's what's keeping you in that cage, right? So it's time to actively start to rewrite your future. Actively start to rewrite your future. Where does it begin? Internal dialogue. What am I saying? What am I saying to myself? What am I allowing myself to say to myself, right? Rewrite your internal dialogue. Give yourself a new script, bro. I'm not gonna keep on talking like that. I'm gonna talk like this. I'm gonna force myself. And sometimes you're gonna catch yourself saying the old thing or going to the old thought or the old attitude or the old approach. Self-awareness allows you to catch yourself and say, yo, that's old. That's old. I ain't going back to that. It's like I wouldn't go open old food and say, I'm gonna pick through it. No, it's old, bro. Right? So instead of saying things like, yo, I can't, I'm gonna figure this out. Different dialogue. I can't do it. No, I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna do it. Right? Instead of yo, I'm not good enough. No, I'm improving every day. That's the language. Words are deep. Words are powerful. Words are strong. Words can crush or build. Just like water, you can drink it or drown in it, bro. Just like fire, you can cook with it or burn down a house. It's all about using it how it should be. And we've all used our words for negativity, right? Negativity or talk ourselves out of something. Well, guess what? If I could talk myself out of something, I can talk myself into something, right? Y'all hear what I'm saying? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, bro. You need to become part of this, man. It's a heck of a community, man. Not because I'm the host, because it's men, it's us. It's us talking, growing, grown men growing even more. Speak the things that you want into existence, man. I ain't talking manifestation. I'm talking about the power of your words. Number 10, build mental resilience. Everybody want to be strong. I'm a strong man. You know where strength starts? Right here. Don't start in the muscle. Don't start in the pockets. Don't start in the home or the car I drive. Resilience starts right here. Right here. Right? Freedom from that mind's cage. It doesn't mean hardship disappears. It means that you handle stuff differently than you ever have before. I'm telling you. Freedom don't mean, oh, everything's gone now. No. Hardship would be right there. I'm dealing with this differently. Same situation, I'm dealing with it differently. And you know what? That's how you can tell you're growing. I'm dealing with this differently. Same situation, I would go off before. I ain't going off now. I'm dealing with this differently. Right? Because I'm a mature man. I'm self-checked. Right? A made man. Not because somebody else made me. Right? I rebuilt myself. Because I realized I was in error. That's a strong man. So you got to train your mind. Train your mind and start seeing things that are broken. All right, how can I fix that? Train your mind and start seeing setbacks, man, as growth opportunities. That's big. The setback, okay. All right, maybe I was going too fast. Maybe I didn't think that through, right? I'm not going to sit on the couch and just fall out. No, let me think this through. Let me do something better next time, right? Because resilience is important, right? Develop resilience, man, by exposing your weaknesses to yourself. That's my weakness, right? Expose yourself to yourself. Don't hide it from yourself. Who you tricking? You ain't tricking you, right? Develop your resilience by exposing yourself to challenges, not running from them. Don't avoid it, right? It's like when the bill or the bill got, you know, when you got somebody calling you to collect the bill. Oh, I ain't answering. No, man, go ahead and answer it. Make a deal. Do something. They ain't gonna stop calling. And guess what? They not wrong for calling because you owe them something. Same way if somebody owed you something, bro. You want them to do the same thing. Hey, man, this is what I need to do. It's manhood, bro. Number 11, let go of the illusion of control. Go check out my podcast on this. I did a whole podcast on the illusion of control. Bro, you're not in control of everything. You know what you're in control of? Yourself. Right? Many of us stay in stress. We stay frustrated because we're trying to control everything around us. Give it up, bro. It's not real. You're not in control of anything outside of you. Only thing you're in control of is of what's inside of you, what you think, how you respond. That's what you're in control of. Nothing else. And the truth is this, as a man, because we are leaders, born leaders, whether you feel like it or not, you're born a man, you're a leader, bro. Right? When you start responding better in here, everything else begins to respond. Outside of yourself, it begins to respond the same way. Right? The Garden of Eden went crazy because Adam did. As long as he was in order, everything else was in line. Same thing with your family. If you're in order, your kids will line up to the order you're in. Right? So focus on what you can control. Your thoughts. Right? Your actions. Right? Your responses. That's what you're in control of. The point is surrender. Surrender. Right? Oh, Christian, that's giving in. Mm-mm. Surrender ain't giving in. Mm-mm. It's not giving in. Uh, that's releasing yourself from feeling like everything's in your control and you can, no, you release yourself. And some things you do need to give in. There's some things you need to give up. That's a whole nother podcast. But ultimately, man, you give it up and you give it in because why? I'm in pursuit of peace, not control. Number 12, let's finish on this one. Create daily mental freedom. It's not a one move thing. Every day you got to do it. Every day you got to think better, right? I used to wake up every day feeling so horrible about myself. Oh, man, you could be a better dad. You could be, why didn't you do this? You did it. Right? One day I had to tell myself, stop. I was getting dressed for work. Yo, stop. Stop. Right? And I didn't just stop. I start feeding myself something different. Right? Because if your mind gets used to being fed something, right? You think from the pool you drink from. So I was drinking from negativity, not alcohol. But I'm talking about when you're drinking, you're taking in negativity. You're thinking from that same place. So I start drinking in positivity. I start thinking from that. I had to force my mind. You're in control of your mind. Your mind is your slave, not your master, bro. Your mind is your slave, not your master. Because mental freedom, again, isn't a one-time event. It's a daily habit to be free. A decision you got to make to be free. Why? I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. You deserve it. Your kids deserve it. Your family deserves it. Your future deserves it. You feel me, bro? I hope I'm helping you, man. I walk through this 12, man. Look, run it back if you got to run it back. Whatever you got to do, man. Because I believe in you. And I want you to believe in you. And I want you to know that you're not the mistakes you made. You're going somewhere. Let me leave you with this. No one else has the key to that cage. And no one's coming to save you. You got the key. And you got to release yourself. It is in your hand. You're the man. Hey, man, I love you. Make sure you love you. I want you to walk every day. Walk this life out with no fear, no shame, and no compromise ever. You hear what I'm saying? Hey, I'm going to end the show like I end every show. If this is your first time, you're hearing it for the first time, learn it. If you've been here before, you know where we're going. Yesterday was history, and tomorrow's a mystery. All we got is right now. What you going to do with it, what you going to do about it. Hey, man, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Thank you for hanging out with me today. See you on the next one, bro. Until then, stay strong. Peace.